What's up, you primate genus beings who can understand what I'm saying? It's Mana Chamber. We're doing an uncommon tier list for March of the Machine, the Aftermath. To those of you out there who are willing to subscribe to the channel, like the video, maybe even comment on it, help the channel grow, man, you're so appreciated. Anyway, let's get into this. There's not a lot. I think there's more rares in this set than uncommons, right? It's kind of weird. Animist Might. For a green and 2, it's a sorcery. The spell costs 2 colorless less to cast if it targets a legendary creature you control. Target creature you control deals combat damage equal to twice its power to target creature or planeswalker you don't control. So, I mean, it can be 1, it can deal double damage. This is brutal, actually. A tier. I like these better than fight spells, so that way, you know, your guy doesn't die. I guess if you're trying to get your guy killed, you know, go ahead and do the fight spells. I don't know. I think it's tight. Blot Out for a black and 2. It's an instant. Target opponent exiles a creature or planeswalker they control with the greatest mana value among creatures and planeswalkers they control. Let's see here. That's pretty nice if you're trying to get rid of the big mana boy. But they choose with the greatest mana, exiles creature or planeswalker. So they choose creature or planeswalker. So whatever has the highest mana value, I mean, that's pretty good too. It gives you some pretty good options. I'm going to give this card an A as well. Wow. Look at that. We're going hard right now. All right. Campus Renovation for a white, a red, and 3, a sorcery. Return up to 1. Target artifact or enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Exile the top 2 cards of your library. Till the end of your next turn, you may play those cards. Kind of expensive, but it is a reanimate spell, which could be really nice. Very clutch on probably an enchantment. I mean, an artifact too. It depends. Then exiling the top card of your library, get some impulse draw there too. Let's give this thing a good old B tier rating. All right. Coppercoat Vanguard for a white and 1. The human soldier creature, 2/2. Each other human you control gets +1/+0 and has ward 1. I think this is a fantastic card, honestly, especially if you have like a human tribal deck. Obviously, you're going hard with it. It makes it a lot harder for them to target your stuff. Is it that much harder though? It is only 1 mana. It's not that much. I think this one gets a good old C tier, even though I like this card better than the one I just rated in the B tier. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny how that works? Cosmic Rebirth for a white, a green, and 1. It's an instant. Choose target permanent card in your graveyard. If it has mana value 3 or less, you may put it on the battlefield. If you don't put it on the battlefield, put it in your hand. You gain 3 life. So, I mean, basically reanimate to the battlefield. If it's something cheap, get it back in your hand and you're gaining life. I'm down with this, and it's only 3 mana. I think this guy, he can sit in the B as well, along with the campus renovation there, I think. Okay. Death Rattle Oni, or a black and 6. It's a demon spirit creature, 5/4 with flash. The spell costs 2 colorless less to cast for each creature that died this turn. So it could get pretty cheap, especially if you're like trying to kill stuff or trying to sacrifice your own people. When Death Rattle Oni enters the battlefield, destroy all other creatures that were dealt damage this turn. So, and it's got multiple benefits. It could be super cheap. You could like swing out, deal a bunch of damage, especially if you have like small boys that you can get rid of, basically. Deal a little bit of damage, make him be like a 1-drop, destroy everything else. This is nasty, actually. I don't know where to put this. I feel this is a B tier. You have some specific criteria you need to meet to make it amazing, but that doesn't mean it can't not be amazing. Feast of the Victorious Dead for a black and a white. It's an enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, If one or more creatures died this turn, you gain that much life and distribute that many +1/+1 counters among creatures you control. You're getting life, you're getting +1 counters. This is beastly. It's a 2-drop. I love this card personally. I give this boy an A as long as you're sacrificing things or trying to swing a lot. You know, don't be a hater. Just swing a lot. Filter out for 2 blue and 1. It's an instant. Return all non-creature, non-land permanents to their owner's hand. Like, this is pretty good. It can do some pretty good things. I'm not going to say it's literally amazing. I would honestly, for this set, for the uncommons, I'm going to put this in D tier. I do think it's worse than the Copper Coat Vanguard. But it can be great in the right deck. You know, like every card in Magic existence, it can be good in the right deck. Gold Forge Thopterex for a blue and 1. An artifact creature, Dinosaur Thopter, 1/3 with flying and lifelink. Each legendary permanent you control as Ward 2. So you get some defense on your legendaries, which is great. Flying and lifelink is great. A Dinosaur Thopter, what even is that? I'm not going to say this card's like incredible though. I think I'll put this one in C tier as well, because that's just where I think it sits. Harnessed Snubhorn for a white and 3 dinosaur creature. It's a 2/5 with vigilance. When it deals combat damage to a player, return target artifact or enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. I mean, a little expensive, I suppose. The vigilance is nice, so you can swing every turn. It's got a big old butt back end, so, you know, you can at least basically swing every turn, unless they got something that's 5 or greater, I suppose, and then you're getting an artifact or an enchantment back if he does deal damage, so they, like, are going to want to block. This is pretty good. Let's put this in B as well. There's just that stipulation on it that makes it a little difficult, but it's pretty dang good. Oh man. Polygon Warmonger. Hopefully I said that right. For a red and 2 Ogre Warrior creature. He's a 3/2 with haste. When he attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal a dragon card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. I mean, when he attacks, you can get a dragon. You gotta have a dragon deck. He's an Ogre Warrior. He's kind of outside of your dragon tribal if you're going that, so you gotta make room for that. Kind of interesting. I think this is even worse than Filter Out, though. In this particular set, we're gonna give it NF tier for the uncommons. It's not like it's the worst card in existence or anything. Markov Baron for a black and 2. He has Convoke. He's a vampire noble creature, 2/2. With lifelink, other vampires you control get +1/+1. He's got a madness cost of black and 2. So even if you're discarding this guy, cast him anyway, you know? It's kind of a clutch move if you are doing stuff like that. The fact that he could come out free with Convoke, the fact that he could come out with madness after discarding is crazy. Lifelink is fine, but the other vampires getting +1/+1, if this isn't a vampire tribal deck, that's great. Let's put this in B tier, I think. So we got Reckless Handling. Search your library for an artifact card, reveal it, put it into your hand, shuffle, then discard a card at random. If an artifact card was discarded this way, Reckless Handling deals 2 damage to each opponent. It's a red and 1. It's a sorcery. So, I mean, you're discarding a card at random. I guess if you have a heavy artifact deck, this is not a bad deal at all. I'm not going to say this is an amazing card. I really am not a huge fan of discard at random. It can really come in negative clutch at the right moments. So let's just go ahead and give this thing a D. I mean, searching for a card is always good, so I can't say it's that bad. Solarian Contempt for 2 blue and 3. Enchantment. When Tolarian Contempt enters the battlefield, put a rejection counter on each creature your opponents control, all of them. At the beginning of your end step, for each opponent, choose up to 1 target creature they control with a rejection counter on it. That creature's owner puts on the top or bottom of their library. So you're really slowing some people down with this. It does cost 5. It's a little expensive in my book. But I mean, the fact that you're bouncing things back to the top of their library is amazing, and it's each opponent, it's amazing. If you can blink or bounce the Tolarian Contempt itself, like in a Brago King Eternal deck, which is what I put it in my paper commander deck, it's brutal. I mean, I'm saying it's brutal. Let's just give it a C for the expense. You can do some pretty dope stuff with it. All right, we got one more card here. It is Undercity Upheaval. 2 green and 1. It's a sorcery. Got Undergrowth, which is distribute X +1/+1 counters among any number of target creatures you control, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard as you cast this spell. Creatures you control gain Vigilance until the end of the turn. So Vigilance until the end of the turn, amazing. Plus X or X +1/+1 counters for creatures. If you got a mill deck, this is super nice. I'm not going to say it's the most amazing card in the world either. I think this one deserves a solid C tier from me, dog. So now we're looking for the worst card in the set. What could it possibly be? How about this guy? I could barely say his name. That's an Ogre Warrior. Really just my least favorite card in this set. Like, too specific of a criteria. I mean, if you're going Dragon Tribal, it's not a dragon, man. It's an Ogre Warrior. Like, I don't know. It's interesting, to say the least. Best card in the set? Wow. I really didn't put too many A's. The gain life, the +1 counters on all your creatures is nasty if you're making sure your guys are dying all the time. Sacrificing creature or planeswalker with the highest value, pretty nasty, you know. Now I gotta remember what this says. I'm sorry. This text here is so small I can't read it on my screen. I gotta use a secondary screen, blah, blah, blah. And, okay, so yeah, it costs 2 less for a legendary, so it can cost 1, and then it deals damage, twice the much damage. Kind of crazy. Okay, so here, are you ready for the best part of the set in my opinion? Because that's all these tier lists are from everybody, is an opinion. It's Feast of the Famished Dead, or whatever it's called. Hold on, dang it, now I gotta find it. Here we go. Feast of the Victorious Dead. I was close. Famished Dead. That sounds kind of fun too. So that's the best card in my opinion in this set. Isn't that cool? Now you know my opinion on the uncommons for the Marching Machine, the Aftermath set. Tell me, what do you think's the best card of this set? Is there one you're just itching in your jimmies for? What's the worst card in your opinion in this set? Is there a card that you're like, this card is bogey wogey? Let me know. I'd love to know. I need to know. I'm not going to sleep very well at night if you don't tell me. So please do, so I can get some good rest. Really appreciate you stopping by the channel today. Really appreciate you making it all the way to the end of the video, hearing me just mumble about. I'm just going to kind of keep mumbling about because that's just kind of what I do when I record videos. Peace out.